Here's a look at a recap of your markets on this Tuesday, the 22nd day of July. Take a look at those pre-report estimates for the cattle on feed report coming out this Friday. Of course, besides that report, we also have the semi-annual cattle inventory, which will be published again. We missed that last year. And with everything going on, guys wanting to know whether or not any expansion or retention's happening, a lot of excitement surrounding the publish of that report on Friday. The pre-report estimates for the cattle on feed have on-feed numbers at 99.1%, a range of 99 to 100. Marketing's at 96.1 with a range of 95.9 to 96.9. The placement number, pre-report estimate there at 98.1% of last year with a range of 96.8 to 101. What's very notable about that placement number, the placements last year for June were the lowest they have been in several years, much below the average June placement numbers. If this 98.1% proves to be accurate or close to what the final number is, that would be the lowest June placements in almost 10 years. Taking a look at what happened at the cattle auctions around the state today. Of course, it was a hot one. Anybody that stepped outside figured that out very fast. A few auctions canceled today. Others had very light receipts. Unionville Livestock Market, they had some load lots of yearlings today. Some of those rocking our cattle. 5 loads of 864 to 888 pound steers sold from $326.75 to $328.75. They also had a load of a bit lighter steers, 602 pound steers that brought $416 1/4. Kingsville Livestock Auction, they're about to wrap up for the day as well. A load there, 824 pound steers brought $334.75. 23 head of 702-pound heifers at Kingsville sold at $339. The reporter down at West Plains, Ozarks Regional Stockyards, he probably summed up what's going on in the markets currently as good as anybody could. He said in his commentary today, supply impacted by excessive heat warnings throughout the region. Buyer demand notably lower for the short weaned calves, as well as those carrying any kind of fescue hair or appearing fleshy, as those types are discounted due to concerns over high shrinkage and increased stress under the extreme heat conditions. A light run at West Plains today, only 811 head through the barn. The steers and heifers sold $2 to $4 higher on the yearlings, the calves $3 to $9 higher. The feeder steers at West Plains, medium and large ones, some 4 to 5 weights, 400 to 455, some 5 to 6 weights, 385 to 417.50, some 6 to 7 weights, 350 to 361. A package 883-pound steers in West Plains, tagged as fleshy and even $3. The feeder heifers, medium and large ones, some 5 to 6 weights, 352.50 to 382.50. A load of 733-pound heifers in West Plains at $313. He did also note that the biggest draft of the day, that there was only 3 drafts the entire day at the sale that accounted for over 20 head. Box beef cutout values, choice up 43 cents at $372.50 for the day. Select down $2.11, $347.94. That choice select spread just continues to get a bit wider each day, $24.56 now. Volume today, 136 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds reported. Negotiated feedlot trade still basically at a standstill, which pretty much expected with the major reports coming out. It could be early Friday morning or quite possibly late Friday after those reports are issued before we actually see any significant trade this week. About 605 head of negotiated sales reported so far, most of it outside the 5-state feeding region. A few sales in Iowa reported at 238, 240 on very light volume. Closing futures markets on the Mercantile Exchange, live cattle, August 224.97 down 25, October at 221.12 down 50, December 221.65 down a dime. Feeder cattle for August, 67 higher, 328.27. September at 328.57, up 87. October, 326.87, up 90. That CME cash feeder cattle index based on an 800-pound steer up through the 12-state feeding region. As you can guess from the prices we were telling you about just a few minutes ago, it continues to get higher, setting an all-time new record high once again today, $1.03 higher, $326.83. Lean hogs for August up 40 cents at 107.75. October 90.50 down 47. December 82.85 down a nickel. Turning our attention to the grain markets, soybeans steady to 4 lower at the elevators around the state today. Wheat was 7 cents higher, corn 4 to 5 lower. Corn bids in the St. Louis region, 430 to 431. Kansas City, 424. Soybean bids, St. Louis, 1040 to 1042. Kansas City, 1030 to 1045. Wheat bids in St. Louis, 521 to 522. Kansas City at 539. Closing futures markets on the Board of Trade. September corn, $3.9925, down 4.5. December at $4.18, down 4.25. March, $4.3575, down 4. Soybeans for August, $10.1025, down 4.75. September at $10.08, down 2.5. November, $10.25.5, down 1/2 cent. Wheat contracts, September up 7.25, 549.5. December 569.5, up 6.25. March 587.5, up 5.75. Soybean meal for August up $3.30 a ton, $273.80. Soybean oil for August down 44 cents a hundredweight at $55.63. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's a recap of your markets for Tuesday. This is Tony Hancock.